Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. This is the last video I'm recording on this recording session. The other two videos I've uploaded before this one have been recorded a few minutes before this one actually. And this is the one I've been waiting for the most. This is, I'm Adam Ferns obviously. I forgot to do that part this time. This is ranking all the Beast Quest seasons from 1 to 24 from worst to best. I've been waiting to do this since Series 13. And now that I've finally got all the main series out of the way, I can finally do this one. Next series ranking will be at Series 30 when that comes out. And when I've done the Beast View on it. But now let's get right into this video with the Bear in mind, this is my opinion, so if your opinion is different, please in the comments below what your favourite series is, and we can have a good conversation down in the comments below. Please don't be offensive if someone's opinion is different to yours, because my favourite can change over time as well. If you remember from the Series 1 to 13 ranking, I will say it has changed a lot. Okay, so let's get into it with the worst series, in my opinion, being Series 16, The Siege of Gwildor. Now, unfortunately to me, Series 16 suffers from one thing which no beast can recover from unless someone is actually a big fan of these kinds of beasts. Giant versions of animals. A lobster for one, a giant ram, a giant ant, and a giant dog. All of these species are just a giant version of an animal, and it just suffers so badly from it. And unfortunately, with that, along with a not very compelling story to me, it's just not a great beast. It's just not a great batch of beasts in my opinion. The story isn't that good either. So yeah, Series 16. Moving on, wow, okay, now this is where I get the haters. Series 18, The Trial of Heroes. Now, this one also suffers from not necessarily bad beasts, like 2 are bad, 2 are okay, I guess. But the story is a repeat, and a much worse repeat than Series 13. I was looking forward to this, but when I found out that Sorara doesn't get much attention, and Krytor's just essentially bigger version of Fang. Carix is actually unique. Drogan, not a big fan of Drogan. It just came to the conclusion of, wow, this is actually a really disappointing series. But I bought Series 18 together with Series 16 along with 14, 15 and 17, so not a complete waste of money. Those 2 series were though. Moving on to the next series, and last place in the last ranking, Series 11, The New Age. I said this before, I say it again, no one likes this series. I've grown to appreciate this series throughout Battle of the Beasts, especially Serpio and maybe Tauron. But when it comes down to it, only 3 okay beasts being Brutus and Tauron and Serpio being the best. It's not going to save it from being the worst. And also, I am using my favourite beasts from each of the seasons here. So Serpio changed from Brutus, because Brutus was in the other one, Serpio's in this one. A few more changes have occurred as well through the beast reviews. Moving on to Series 17, The Broken Star, with Griff the Feathered Fiend, the best beast of this series. And unfortunately, I'm only putting this here because the story is just as worse as Series 16, in my opinion. And 2 of the beasts, Thoron and Okko, I actually do not like. There's no real reason why I don't like them. I just prefer my beasts to have a bit of a body to them. So that's why Series 17 is there. So, moving on. Oh god. This one is a series that suffers only beast-wise, because the story is good, and that's Series 4, The Amulet of Avantia. Now, unfortunately, like I said, the beasts are rather bad. But the story is where it's at, and it is a great story. Anything to really finish up on this? The best beast is obviously Stealth. Rashuk, Luna and Blaze are all wasted spaces. Equinus and Nixa are okay. Stealth is okay as well. unfortunately, all the beasts are either okay or bad. So, what are we gonna do? Moving on, we have now. What do you suffer from? You suffer from good story but bad beasts. So next is series 20, the Isle of Ghosts. Zulok, Rykar, and Skalix are all bad beasts compared to other beasts that are either similar to it or just for the weapon that Skalix has that's bad. Okira is a good beast, but it doesn't change the fact that it's just mediocre compared to other beasts that I will be talking about later. Okira isn't the best beast in this, isn't the best out of all the beasts, but it is the best beast in this series. It stands out the most, but with a great story, but just not great beasts. That's the problem that it suffers from. Moving on. Yeah, okay, I see you being here. Series 3, The Dark Realm. Now, this one suffers from half the beasts being bad, 2 being okay, and 1 being good. The story is not the best. The story's not best in series 20 and 4, but it is better than the next series I'm about to talk about. The beasts, however, only half of them are good. Well, only 1's good, half are bad, and 2's okay. So series 3, I thought she got the bad end of the margin. Moving on to the next series, which has just great beast but a bad story. Series 8, The Pirate King. Now, I feel like there's just not enough credit going around here, but I need to say this up front. I'm not a fan of Torno or Blood Boar. Those are the only bad beasts here, but I need to give credit where it's due. They actually look alright. They both score around 20 or more in their beast reviews, so it's not all bad. Balisk is definitely the best beast in my opinion. Not the strongest, but it is my favourite though. It's just not a good story, but it is a great batch of beasts. That's why I say it. That's all I need to say, really. Moving on, we have Series 14, The Cursed Dragon. I haven't talked about this series for ages. But with this, Ravkor and Tikron are not good beasts in this one. Vizlak and Falra are okay. Falra's obviously the best, but where is that? The other 3 beasts in this series, not Falra, just fall short, just being a giant version of what they're based off. Falra is just Epos but white, so yeah. Other than that, it's just a mediocre story. It's not a great story, but it's not a god-awful one. So, yeah. Okay, moving on, we got a series with a good beasts with a weird-ish story. Series 21, The Sorceress Revenge. Now, beast-wise, the reason why it's here is because of Greymon. But story-wise, it's not the most compelling story, but it has great beasts to try and pull it back up, design-wise anyway. But with Lipida being the best and a great finale and hopefully a good end to Malbel, I'll say it's a good series, just suffering from Greymon being there and the story not being compelling. Now, oh god, we're not even halfway through and this series is here. This is where the haters start rolling in. Up next, just before the halfway point, is Epos the Flamebird. No, Series 1. Epos Flamebird is the best. Reason why it's here is for the simple reason Arcta and Nanook aren't great, and it's just a mediocre story to come off with. So with a mediocre story and 2 very bad beasts, unfortunately that's the furthest it's going to go. But I think it's good for Series 1 to be around there, because it just shows that the majority of other seasons are better than this one. Moving on, we have Series 6, The World of Chaos. Now this one was the best series, well, one of the best, tied with the best series. But after thinking about it, I said it in a comment on the Adam Ferns archives with that video. I regret my decision, as I think one of the story, as I said, that one of the seasons aren't as good as the other two. That was one of them. That was that one. And looking at the other beasts, Komodo, Muro, and Fang are not something to be proud of because they're both giant versions of other animals. Merc, what the hell is that? And Terra is just a tree. Vespic is the best by far, obviously. But with a mediocre story, it's quite good. But just missing out on the top half, that is. Moving on to this one actually has a good set of beasts and a good story, just being outclassed by the others. Series 15, Velma's Revenge. Like I said, good beast, a good story, but there's nothing else going for it. It's just mediocre everything else. Because with an okay story and okay beasts, you're going to get halfway because you're just about average. I doubt Series 15 will be anyone's favourite, and I doubt it'll be anyone's least favourite. So, boom. Moving on to, okay, this one, okay, bit of a fun fact, this was actually the first series of Beast Quest I've ever got. Hence why the books are a bit more tattered up than the books before it. But Series 7, The Lost World, with the best beasts being Carnivora, the two wasted spaces being Convul and Hellion. The story is questionable, like, it's not as good as Series 15's, but the beasts, in my opinion, are better. Even if it does have two wasted spaces. But if you take away those two, and just have a series of 4 with Crestor, Madara and Elic along Carnivora, is actually a good series. Moving on, we have the Warlocks Staff Series 9, with the best beast being the Guardian of the Eternal Flame and the only proper beast in that series. This one is a great series with a great story and a good batch of beasts. However, the main problem is it recycles the old trend of a human or animal turning into a beast thing. And if you do it once in your series, like Series 3 done, it's good, but do it 5 times, it's going to get old real quick, and that's why Series 9 is here. Okay, so we're moving on into the top 9, actually. Top 9. Okay, let's make it to the top 8. Okay, so next is Series 12, The Darkest Hour. The beasts just get better as it goes along, like with the worst is Solak, the best is Kamar. The story-wise, it's actually a good story in my opinion. Like, it's not the best, I will admit that, but it's not the worst. I don't know why Lucas is not a fan of it, but hopefully when he does his series ranking, Kamar or Series 12 will be higher, as it deserves to be higher. Anything else about it? No, like, looking back at all these beasts, they're supposed to be intimidating, which they are, but they all kind of blend in with the other beasts due to how many I've reviewed on this channel. So unfortunately for Kamar, that isn't a positive thing, but it is better than most seasons, so it's something. Next is Series 23, The Shattered Kingdom. With a great villain that is definitely going to be a one-time villain, being Zircon, the great main villain. It was a very unexpected twist, and a bit, actually no, it wasn't very unexpected, it was obvious. But if you don't have good memory, like clearly me and Lucas don't, you wouldn't realise that the King Angelo is actually Zircon. Like, because I realised the main villain, which was King Angelo, was Zircon when just at the end of chapter 2 in this book. So to realise that, I'm a bit ashamed. But then I just figured out. Then just looking back at it, I'm like, That makes sense, actually. And then we found out that Capra got blackmailed by Zircon, and it just showed that Zircon is actually a very effective villain, taking away Thomas' magic powers and melting the golden armor. Very effective villain. Anything negative to say about it? Honestly, Querzal and Talker. Querzal was disappointing. Talker was even more disappointing. But other than that, Crotax and Zircon saved them from being what could be an okay series to what was a great series. Okay, so we're just gonna line up the others. We got 7. We got 7 here. Those are definitely the top 3. So we'll leave them there for a while. Next is Series 10, Master of the Beasts, with the best beast being Noctilla the Death Owl. I had to check that. The worst beast in this series is Shamani, but is actually a mediocre beast. The story is great, and I think the fact that most of these beasts are intimidating and stand out very well is a good concept, I guess. It's a good concept and is what I look for in the beasts, have the beasts stand out design-wise. Along with abilities and fights, but what am I going to do? Next is Series 19, The Kingdom of Dragons. Now with this one, all the beasts are dragons, so that's the problem, unfortunately, because it's just dragon after dragon after dragon. But they got better as the series went on, with a more unique concept of it. So first of all, it just started with a simple dragon made of stone, went to a dragon made of ice that can swim and heal herself. Then it went to a toxic dragon. Then it went to a dragon made of bones. That is good. The story was also great, and for the first time, Petra joined them along with the adventure. Now we're down to the top 5 seasons, and okay, taking these 2 out, the top 3 can change around so much. So I had to resort to the totals beast review wise. But next is Series 2, The Golden Armor. This series was had a okay batch of beasts. Sultra and Trillian are the standout beasts here. Arachnid can also be a kind of standout because it is very underrated. But the others are just badish to okay. The story was great, and I think having Tom go out on a quest to retrieve Avantia's most precious relic is something which I liked a lot in that series. Now we're down to the top 4. Now I had a hard time trying to pick which series is the best. I had a hard time trying to pick which series comes 4th place here. If you've been keeping track, we have 2 seasons from the new generation and 2 seasons from the old generation. And because the beasts aren't as good as the others here, but the story is good, and since I do mainly beast reviews on this channel, I had to go with 4th place being Series 5, The Shade of Death. Now, the beasts... Crab and Rock did pull it down a bit. Coldo mainly did. Crab is just okay. Hawkeye and Tremor are good, and Amictus is obviously great. But unfortunately, since there's so many beasts pulling it down, I had to put it there. It's a great story and a great it's a great story and introduces Tom's mother for the first time actually working for the villain, which was a great twist. And even though I have read this series before doing the Beast Review, way before it actually, it was something I actually forgotten about, and to be surprised by that again is something which I need to take into account, which I liked. And that was the top 2 in the last season done, in the last ranking done, Series 6 and Series 5. So what will be number 1? Next is Series 22, The Lost Beast of Makai. Rhea's first outing was one of the best ones, and not bad to say why, because the beasts there were all great. The worst one was a giant rat, but I still liked it. There's a claw ripoff, well, a claw-like monkey, which so a monkey beast, which was amazing, and a bug beast along with a siren. What else can I ask for beast? The story was great. The beast actually had jobs to do, which was good. They all guarded something which was needed for Rhea's master plan. And ultimately it made a great series which I would be happy to read time and time again. Now we're down to the top two. These two, I can change between them so many times. In the new generation, it got the highest score for Beast View. In the old generation, it got the highest score for Beast View as well. And really thinking about what they got for Beast View and trying to find a percentage of it was actually quite hard, because even though I'm good at maths, I'm not that good. So with my steady calculations, I came to the conclusion that one of them got really close to guessing closest to 100% for the series. But since they're both pretty close, I took the story into account, and both the stories are great as well. I ended up having to go for something that had a unique concept that went from the start of the series to the end and didn't start halfway in the series. So, second place is Series 13, The Warrior's Road. The unique concept I'm talking about is Tom being evil, and the main character being evil. And Tom started guessing evil halfway through the series as Slivka, controlled by Koba, obviously, and which was good. It made what started out as an okay series to being a rather dark and twisted one, which was really, really unexpected and a really good series. And it's a series like Series 22 I will read time and time again. But of course, the winner, the best series of all, of course had the highest score for Beast View as well, and also was closest to 100% with the ranking, with the Beast View, and of course had a good story where Tom was evil throughout the entire time. Series 24, The Blood of the Beast. This had a great batch of beasts throughout, all of which would definitely be in the top 40 if I did another ranking. The worst of them is Electro, which is still a great beast. Crocol is definitely high up there, probably in the top 10 with the ranking now. And it was a great story, a great batch of beasts, and all around probably a perfect season, to be honest. My favourite beast isn't from that season. Actually, my favourite beast isn't from any of those seasons. Okay. But with that, I think I need to say the fact that Series 24 did win for the simple reason it is the most recent one I've read, so my memory of it is still fresh in my mind. But even if it's not, and we go forward, let's say 20 seasons later, I will still remember that season due to how unique the story was, and wondering if we'll ever get a story similar to it again, just with a different character being evil. Like, let's say they've gone through an entire season with their wizard helper being evil, so Daltek. They did something similar with it in Series 8, with Adaro being evil, but I didn't really feel that kind of vibe from it as like a standout point. But if they do something similar with it, with another person being evil, that is a big importance to Tom and Alina. I'd love to see it. It probably won't be better than Series 24. But then again, opinions can change. But as of now, that is my ranking. I'm relatively happy with it. It took me ages to try and think of what the order for the top 3 mainly can be. And it got harder, like, with the bottom few, actually, because I couldn't pick which series is the worst. But I'm happy with my results. So with that being said, that is all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press that notification bell down in the corner below. I should have said this in the Beast View, by the way, but I'm going to say it here now. Battle of the Beasts, the new generation, series 14 to 24, will not be taking place until after series 25's Beast of You has come out. Because series 25 comes out in June, the other half, well, half of it comes out in June, the other half comes out in September, which isn't really that far away. And honestly, I think I need a bit of a break from Beast Quest at the moment. So, with that being said, Battle of the Beast New Generation coming out after Series 25. There are more Beast Views come out, but they're going to be specials. I don't have a lot of specials left, so yay. Specials tournament, I'm not sure when that'll be, when I'm caught up with specials. Probably when there's a number divisible by 3, though. I do specials in groups of 3, and there's 25 specials coming out by the end of 2020. So when there's 27, maybe I do Battle of the Beast specials then. So that'll be in 2021. I'm not sure. I think of something out. But with that being said, that I believe is all for this time. I think I already said the outro, but I'm going to say it again because I just can't remember. So if you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press that notification bell down in the corner below. If you understood anything I said, then please leave in the comments below so I know I'm not talking gibberish. And I'll see you next time.